Hi everyone, I'm Rachel and welcome to my very first video on cooking with Rachel from scratch. If you want a breakfast cake that's moist, fluffy, and bursting with blueberries, you're in the right place. I'll show you my go-to blueberry breakfast cake recipe with a secret ingredient that makes it extra special. This is perfect for beginners, so let's get baking. So here's what you'll need. 1/2 cup of sugar, a 1/2 cup of very soft butter, 1 1/4 cup of vanilla yogurt. You can either use whole milk yogurt or Greek yogurt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 egg, 1 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour or 165 grams. I would recommend weighing your flour so you have the exact. You also need to put 2 tablespoons of flour to the side to put over your blueberries, 1 cup of fresh blueberries, and for the crumb topping, a 1/2 cup of soft butter, a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and a 1/2 cup of regular sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We will do a reverse cream, which is the butter and flour first before adding the rest of the wet ingredients. You'll want to start by adding half the butter and half the flour. Now we can add the other half of the butter and half of the flour. Now we can add our vanilla and our egg. Next, we'll be adding our vanilla yogurt, which is the secret ingredient. This is my favorite trick for a super moist, soft cake. Now we'll be adding the rest of the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. This includes the baking powder, the baking soda, the salt, and the sugar. If you don't have a mixer, that's fine. You can use your hands and scrape just to make sure everything's all mixed together. A bowl and put our blueberries in the bowl and then sprinkle the flour on top. Give them a nice shake. This helps so that the blueberries don't sink to the bottom and are evenly distributed throughout the cake. Next up, we're going to add our blueberries. And don't add the extra flour, just do the ones that are coated. So grab them with your hand. And your blueberries. I'm going to mix it like a few times around. Okay, now for the crumb topping, we're going to take our butter, and then add your 1/2 cup of regular sugar and your 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And now I want to take my flour and cinnamon and my pinch of salt and mix it all together before dumping it in. Add it to your mixture. Okay, so now take your pastry blender and mash everything together. If you don't have one, you can use your hands. I start with this and then I end up using my hands. Put a liner pan with parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, butter it really well and sprinkle flour over it. Now we're going to pour the batter into the pan and sprinkle our crumble topping on it.